The evaluation form, I've said this several times, is not a score sheet. Unfortunately, some of the teachers do treat it as a rubric when they're preparing the projects as a classroom project. So it's important that we think of the project evaluation forms as merely our notes. So as we're advancing the projects, we can provide feedback and we can help the students see that their projects were seen and evaluated, and we can help them if they are advancing, but also we can provide them a fair and positive experience if they're not advancing. So when we mark the evaluation forms, the goal is to provide them as much information as possible and to do so in a way that's going to help support them. So these are some examples here of evaluation forms. This is the old evaluation form, but I think it does a good job of explaining what I'm talking about. These would have been ranked superior, but it doesn't really tell them what's good or what needs to advance. So you need to go beyond saying, wow, good job, and say something that specifically matches your comments over in the evaluation section. Try not to tell anything about where you think they should go. Please do not write anything about it being a top award. Don't put any markings on there like a #1 up here. In fact, any stray marks are going to be interpreted in a way that might lead to some confusion amongst the students. They will often see these projects as score sheets. So if they have more superiors than another student that advanced, then they get confused. So what we want to do is try to explain to them why their projects were good, but also what they could have done to improve in a positive way. Also notice down here, there's a lot of room for blank space, so you can fill that up. It doesn't have to be completely filled, but try to figure out what ways that they can improve and what they've done well. For example, that's what this project does. You can't really read it, the actual specific comments, but it doesn't list everything as superiors. They try to explain why they marked what they marked in certain ways. So positive comments, criticisms are phrased in a way that's constructive to help them improve, makes a suggestion rather than criticizes. Criticisms are backed up with specific examples, and they make sense compared to where the check marks are on the box. We don't necessarily have check marks, but we will have that form where you're going to be marking parts of the rubric. This is from the district. Let's see, where is this from? This is from, I believe, the national level. Tips for writing comments: be positive, find something to praise. If you need to point out flaws, try to do it in a way that it can be seen as a positive. Make suggestions rather than criticisms. And if it's a group project, try not to point out one group member for praise or criticism. You have a couple of options when you're evaluating the forms. You can print them out, write on them by hand, and then scan them in and send me the scans back. That might be a little bit too much for some of us. We can also do it digitally. So you can digitally alter the PDF. There are many different ways to do this. One suggestion would be to sign up for a website called ilovepdf.com. And then on that website, there is a edit PDF button, which will then allow you to add text, draw, add shapes, and you can just kind of add text in the appropriate locations on the PDF. And then you can download the edited PDF, name it an appropriate name, preferably the entry number, and then we can go from there. On that evaluation form, however you're going to do it, please make sure that you put the project's name, the project's entry number at the top next to the category description. Then you're going to mark the rubric form and add any comments in the general comment section, and then mark the rules checklist. So to make sure that they've met all the rules requirements, or if they need to improve something in the rules, make a general comment there as well. And that should be it for the evaluation form. Try to remember nothing about ranks, no stray marks, or at least to the best of your ability. And if you have any questions, let me know and I'll try to help you out with the evaluation form.